Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit inconsistent lately, so I apologize for that. But this week we are going to be working one more time on my Rx8, and I'm going to be showing you everything on how to do a proper coolant change. I'm going to be doing a flush, the change, and yes, I'm going to be actually showing you how to bleed it. I know a lot of videos out there, they just say bleed the car at the end. Don't show you any tips or tricks on how to do that, so I'm gonna go through the whole process with you guys. So let's get to it. So here's everything that we are going to need to do a flush once and replace the coolant. I'm going to be targeting a 60% distilled water to 40% coolant mixture. So first off, starting from left to right here, we're going to be needing something to catch the coolant. I think this is like a 5-gallon drum. It's pretty cheap at Advanced Auto, like $8. As well as I'll be showing you how to use this SpillProof funnel kit. This is important when it comes to the bleeding procedure at the end. Talk more about that later. That's about $20. Highly recommend it if you don't want to get any coolant when you're bleeding the system at the end here. And the most important piece of this is the coolant type. So I know you guys can do a lot of research out there on your own. This is what I chose for mine. This is the Ravenol coolant. It's like some German brand, I believe. It's concentrated, so we do have to dilute it, which I'll give you guys a calculation here in a bit of a 60% distilled to 40% coolant mixture. These are $15 a piece, as you can see I wrote on here. And 1.5 liters is equal to about 0.4 gallons. So I have 0.8 gallons total of this coolant, so $30 there. And then we're gonna need distilled water. To do a coolant flush, we need 4 gallons of it. The whole system holds about 2.6 gallons, but I expect only to get about 2 gallons out of the system. So the 60% mixture of distilled water, this equates out, if we get 2 gallons out, it'll be 1.2 gallons that we have to put back in, and then 40% of the coolant is going to be 0.8 gallons, so that works out perfectly there as long as we get the 2 gallons out. But the reason why we need this extra 2 gallons here is because I'm gonna fill the car up one time, start it, and then flush it out just with distilled water, drain it a second time, and then put the 60-40 coolant mix back into it. So that was my little explanation there of what we're going to be doing, but we also need a 14mm wrench and just a Phillips head screwdriver. All right. Oh, another thing, back to this coolant here. This is the correct recommended coolant that Mazda wants you to have. So the FL22, as you can see, it's amine and silicate free. That's important, you know, for everything that Mazda recommends. I went this route instead of just going to Mazda. This was a way more cost-effective route. It's been a while since I ordered this, but choose what you want. I got these off of Amazon, $15 a piece. Like I said, shipped to your door. So I'm using this, and it even tells you right here, Mazda FL22 coolant, and then a bunch of other vehicles too that it's used for, Subarus, all that sort of stuff. Also, my car, I haven't changed the coolant in honestly at least six or more years. It definitely is overdue for a change, and I think Mazda recommends it's like a 60,000 miles or 4 years, whichever comes first. So I already had the car jacked up. Make sure you use some jack stands, just so the car doesn't, you know, fall on you or the jack fail. I'm not really practicing what I preach, I guess, because I ran out of a jack. So guys, don't flame me for anything here. I understand, you know, I have a jack right there and then 3 jack stands on the back, but you know, just make sure you use 4 jack stands total instead of the jack like I'm using here. But anyway, jack the car up. You don't need to remove any of the under tray at all. I know some people say that you have to remove it. You don't. So let's jump underneath the car and I'll show you more what we're going to be looking at. You want to crawl onto the driver's side. This is the access hole. We want to be draining it in 2 locations. First location right here is a Phillips head screw. We want to look up on the driver's side, and it's right in there. And this is actually draining the radiator. See my screwdriver coming up here. That'll drain the radiator portion. And then the next one Some people skip this step, which you're not gonna be able to get all the coolant out of the block, which is gonna be at least another gallon, easy. You come underneath the engine, it's by the oil pan, and you wanna drain this one. This bolt right here, take it off. Watch, because it'll be super messy. It's gonna shoot out the coolant that's actually contained in the block. So let's first drain the radiator portion here. And then we'll put the drain pan under here, and then we'll drain this one too. This will shoot out this way. All right, well, that's finishing draining from the block. Let's go over what the SpillProof funnel is, and then we're gonna be doing a flush now. So I'll replace everything, put the bolt back on when it's done draining completely, find the right funnel attachment, and then we'll be doing the flush with just distilled water only. Start the car, let it warm up, get up to operating temperature, and then do the same procedure as I just did. Drain that distilled, see the color. As long as it's pretty clear, then we're good to go to replace it with the actual mix we're gonna keep in the car with a 60/40 mix. The SpillProof funnel kit comes with a bunch of different attachments. You have to find the right attachment that fits on this. So we gotta find which one fits on. That blue one's out, so it's probably the green one. Yep, so that fits on there. Then you find the right corresponding attachment. This rubber end goes down. This goes over top of that, and it locks on just like a normal cap. So lock it on, just like that. And then you're good to add your funnel, like that. This will be bubbling up like crazy and it'll catch everything here. So you won't have a mess. And previously I just did it with just leaving the cap off, and it just gets a mess because sometimes when it heats up, it just gets everywhere over the engine bay, and I don't want to do that to this car. Other cars that are cheaper that aren't as in good shape, I would do that too, but spend the $20 and get this. And then we'll add 2 gallons of coolant, and we'll see where that comes to. There's a fill line at the side here, right on the side. You'll see it in person more, but it's a line right here we want to fill it up to be full. So we'll fill it up to that line right there, and with distilled water, let it warm up, and then we'll drain it one more time, fill it up with coolant. Also, just to mention, the reason why we use distilled water, it's important because it doesn't corrode the block. If you use tap water, the minerals in there and impurities will corrode the internal water jackets within the engine. So always important to definitely use distilled water. I'm expecting at least 2 gallons that I gotta add of distilled water. So we'll see. 1 gallon. The first gallon working its way into the block. So let's add gallon number 2 and see what happens after that. So I measured how much I got out the first time. Actually, it worked out to be almost perfect. I know these 2 gallons are completely filled. That's what I dumped in for the first flush right now as I'm waiting for it to go. And then this is how much we have on top of 2 gallons, which is just a little splash left over. So my 60-40 calculation will be dead on. I'm definitely going to stick with the 1.2 gallons of distilled and the 0.8 gallons, which is the 2 full bottles of the Ravenol after I'm flushing it. So the calculation worked out perfect. The thing we want to do is start the car, turn the heat on full blast to the hottest setting and to the highest fan setting, I think is number 4 on this car. That'll just open up the heater core and get the residual coolant out of the heater core as well. How about that startup, huh? So that definitely fixed the issue. I was the past couple episodes just fighting starting issues. So, but anyway, check out those old videos if you want to see what actually happened and what I did. But yep, we'll crank it all the way to hot, all the way up to 4. Let's check the level on the funnel there. See if we need to add more distilled water while this warms up here. So there's the level there. Even with it circulating right now, we'll see what happens when it gets warmer. But we don't need to add any more than 2 gallons for this flush of distilled water. So let's let this warm up and I'll be back with you guys here shortly. Okay, I turned it off. It got up to operating temp, didn't overheat or anything. So fluids all mixed together. We turned the heater core up all the way onto high for the fan setting with the highest temperature of the heat. Very, very important step. Make sure that you let the car completely cool down on this part. If you're not using the funnel like I am, and if you just put the radiator cap on, that's fine, but the contents are gonna be under pressure, so it's gonna squirt all in your face if you try to remove the radiator cap right now, if you didn't do the funnel method. But yeah, let's let this whole thing cool down, the block, everything, and then we'll drain it for a second time. So we'll do the same exact procedure. I'll see how clear the fluid is. I'm not gonna do more than 1 flush either way, but some people like to do 2. I'm just gonna do 1. Drain everything from the radiator and then drain from the block. And then we'll do the 60-40 mix. So now let's get back to the final fill up here. And this is gonna be an actual filling of the coolant here. I'm dumping this in first because I wanted to use all of it. And then we'll put in approximately 1.2 gallons of the distilled. And this is gonna be the final fill up and you'll be good for the maintenance level that is required for this car. All right, so I dumped this first gallon distilled in. I have the other bottle on hand ready when I start the car. This car is super simple to bleed. So I know Subarus and everything like that, it's really hard to get all the air bubbles out in the system. And if you have an air bubble, it creates an air pocket in there and the car overheats. This, just by doing the first flush, it didn't overheat at all and it sucked the fluid right through. So this is real simple. But just to show you what this funnel is for, So you basically just want to make sure that it's filled up to this line here. A little higher is going to be fine. Starting out, it can just go in the overflow. But the reason for this, if you don't have the funnel, you could leave the cap off. But if it gets warm and you misjudge how much you put in, it'll start to overflow and make a mess. So that's why this funnel's here. It'll overflow into the funnel itself. If the back pressure, if it gets warm and starts to shoot up and everything like that, it'll come into this. But that's all you have to do is start the car, put it on full recirc, like I showed you already, full heat, full blast. Make sure the car is tilted up a little bit in the front more than in the rear. So you want to have a slight angle to the car, and this just gets the bubbles oriented in the right way to shoot out up the top of this here. So just check the levels and then just add as you go. A lot of people in the manual says that you could do the coolant hoses in the throttle body and disconnect them. I think it's stupid. I did the throttle bypass mod here. It's probably a pointless mod, but anyway, you could disconnect this. They said leave the cap on here and then disconnect this, and then this is apparently the highest point that the coolant flows into the engine. So once you get coolant shooting out up here or dribbling out, I guess, then you know that the lines are bled. But I don't want to do it that way. I think it's just more of a mess in my clean engine bay that's gonna spurt everywhere. So I'm just leaving this open, putting the funnel here, starting it up, revving it every now and then to a couple thousand RPM just to get it circulating through. Once it gets operating temperature and the level's fine, and then you are good and it's bled. Another trick here, when you know it's bled and everything's circulating, your heat should be actually on. So you should feel warm air coming out here. If it's still cooled and the engine is warmed up, then you know that you have air in the lines. Just another little tip. But looks like we're good. Sounds pretty healthy now. So I got the coolant change. That's one more thing off my list of what I needed to do of maintenance on this car. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm usually pretty quick at responding to the very low amount of comments that I have with my full 12 subscribers. But if you found something helpful within this video, give me a like, thumbs up, and as always, have a good rest of your week, and I appreciate you checking out my channel.